Hello guys, it's Sunday, so here is your weekly dose of urban news. So hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update, and as always, a massive thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters and everyone else who keeps this going. In Chicago, work has begun on the renovation of the State and Lake subway station, which is set to become a gateway to the downtown as one of the busiest stations in the city's subway system. The project includes new elevators, wider platforms, expanded entrances and exits, brighter lighting, and a glass canopy that will frame the view of the city center from the elevated tracks. At the street level, there are also plans to remove columns and increase vertical clearance to facilitate traffic flow. The project will cost $444 million, 90% of which will come from the federal budget, and the renovated station is scheduled to open in 2029. State and Lake Station, built in 1895 as part of the original L line, has become notably outdated in the recent times, while it serves the brown, green, orange, purple, and pink lines and is a hub connecting the city center with the rest of the city. Also, after a 4-year renovation, 4 Red Line stations in Edgewater and Uptown recently opened. However, these infrastructure projects are coming at a time when CTA officials are warning of a $770 million budget deficit that will significantly reduce service by next year if state lawmakers fail to pass a rescue plan. Austrian carrier s-bahn has begun operating 4 newly purchased double-decker trains from the Chinese manufacturer CRRC, expanding its fleet to 19 trains. And by the way, these are the first Chinese-made trains in Austria. Maybe they are also the first in the European Union in general, but I'm not sure about that because I think I've seen similar news somewhere before. Each train consists of 6 cars and can carry 536 passengers. The new trains consume 10% less energy than the company's other trains and are approved for use in Austria, Germany, and Hungary. At the same time, CRC's entry into the Austrian market has caused a reaction from the Austrian Railway Industry Association, which believes that imports from non-EU countries risk displacing local industry and undermining long-term technological sovereignty. Another reason for concern is that s-bahn receives government funding through climate programs, which are thus directed towards the purchase of Chinese vehicles, which are cheaper than European ones thanks to subsidies from the Chinese government. Meanwhile, s-bahn points out that the development, design, and key components are mostly from Austria and Europe. For example, seats, doors, brakes, as well as snack vending machines, key systems, and security technology. And s-bahn co-owner Hans-Peter Haselsteiner said at the presentation that it's not a Chinese train, but perhaps half or slightly more than half Chinese and the other half European. Meanwhile, in the province of Groningen in the Netherlands, they decided to completely abandon the idea of hydrogen trains and now want electric ones. From 2035, regional rail transport in the province should be completely emission-free, and this was supposed to happen partly with the help of hydrogen-powered trains. However, after positive tests, the less positive side of the train quickly became apparent: its cost. So, in simple words, the plus is that it runs, and the minus is that it's expensive. The tender for 4 trains wasn't successful. Plan B was to lease used hydrogen-powered trains, but now this idea has been rejected too, so now they are going with battery-powered trains. Batteries can be charged at stations by a contact network, as it already happens in Friesland. However, this option hasn't been taken into account at the recently renovated main station in Groningen. There is no contact network above the Arriva tracks, so the train cannot be charged. The province plans to seek financial support from the Dutch government and the European Union to purchase these battery trains. And Swiss Railways has signed a contract with Siemens Mobility for 116 new double-decker trains for about 2 billion francs. 95 of them will be used on the Zurich S-bahn network, and another 21 trains will operate in French-speaking Switzerland on the RER-Vade network and on the Martigny-Annemasse line. These new trains are to be used instead of the first double-decker trains, which began operating on the Zurich S-bahn lines back in the 1990s. They will be more spacious and comfy. Each train will have 6 cars, will be about 150 meters long, and will carry 540 seated passengers. During rush hour, the trains can run in pairs. But the tender result left unhappy the local manufacturer Stadler, which lost to Siemens by 0.6 percentage points. They called the decision a great disappointment given the proven reliability of Stadler KISS trains, which are successfully operating on the S-bahn network in Zurich since 2012. The company planned to build the trains in Switzerland, involving more than 200 local suppliers, which would have allowed maximum added value to remain in the country. By the way, to be fair, Siemens also built trains for the Zurich S-bahn in the mid-2000s. In Wrocław, Poland, they presented the first Skoda 19T tram modernized by SATS. In total, the city signed an 8.6 million euros contract to modernize 6 such trams. During the modernization, the cars will receive new engines and electronics, air conditioning, information systems, USB charging, and many other features. Another improvement is night lighting of the doorsteps, which will help passengers at stops with poor lighting. By the way, these cars operate in Wrocław since 2010, and notably, their design was developed by Porsche. Yep, that Porsche. Meanwhile, Serbia has launched a modernized 108-kilometer railway line between Novi Sad and Subotica, on which trains can run at 200 kilometers per hour. Construction was carried out by Chinese builders, which, frankly speaking, sounds quite alarming, because collapsed railway station in Novi Sad, which killed 16 people, also was renovated by the Chinese companies. The project included reconstruction of intersections in Novi Sad, Vrbas, and Subotica, elimination of level crossings, electrification, and doubling of the track along its entire length. Also, in the process, they built 2 viaducts with a total length of 2.3 kilometers, 5 tunnels, and for the first time in Serbia, 3 aqueducts, which will allow wild animals to safely cross the railway. So now the travel time from Novi Sad to Subotica has been reduced to 42 minutes, although I am not sure how long it used to take before. To appreciate the greatness of these changes, Google says that currently it is 8 hours with 3 transfers, but that's probably taking into account the tour via Berlin or something like this. In Casablanca, construction has begun on several major railway projects that are expected to significantly improve mobility in the region at a total cost of $2 billion. The projects include construction of 3 new large stations, completion of 10 new suburban train stations, laying of 260 kilometers of new railway lines, and the purchase of 48 new trains for local and regional services. One of the new stations will be Casablanca Sud, which will provide a transfer between Al-Barak high-speed trains, regional and suburban services. The station will have a capacity of 12 million passengers per year with 6 platforms and 10 tracks. It will also provide connection to Tramline 1 and local buses, as well as 700 parking spaces. The station was designed by the French-Moroccan architectural studio Walaloo Plus Choi. The total cost of the Casablanca Sud station is estimated at $76 million, and it is scheduled for completion by October 2027. And finally, Brazilian rolling stock manufacturer Marco Polo Rail has announced the signing of a contract to supply 3 Prosper City diesel trains to CFLP, which is the operator of a commuter line serving the city of Teresina. Marco Polo will supply 2 2-car trains and 1 3-car unit, which will be able to carry up to 560 passengers. The company is better known as a manufacturer of buses, which are very popular in Latin America and only now is beginning to enter the railway market. Just recently, they completed their first railway contract, supplying 3 diesel trains of the same type to the Chilean railway. As for the railway in Teresina itself, it is a 16-kilometer single-track line with a narrow meter gauge, which has been operating since 1991. Notably, at the very beginning, it operated trains built in Hungary, and currently it operates trains from another Brazilian manufacturer built in 2017. And that's all the news for this time, so hit the like button, leave your comments, and see you in the next videos.